No.
That means that the recording is now taking place.
Oh, fantastic.
This week, we dive into Hubbard's Cave. This is episode 61 of The Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's bees. This the Molten Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Molten Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Episode 61, The Malting Hour. Welcome, everybody. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
and not joining us this evening, Mr. Clark Fettridge. Sorry, Clark, you're missing out on this one that I'm sure once you see what this is and you hear it, you will be sad. Sorry. Oh, man. Well, this is probably the latest we've ever recorded. Not that it matters to anybody listening, but it's pretty late that we're recording this, and it's not an after the final pour. But pretty excited about this because it is a brewery, I think, both on mic and off mic that we've talked about wanting to do an episode on. And tonight's the night. Today's the day. Yep. We are going to be drinking what, Brandon? What brewery are we drinking from?
We are drinking Hubbard's Cave. Wow, 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 wow. I felt like I needed that sound effect.
I could throw it in, but I also can't wait to see how high that clips when you're leaning into the mic. That's the best. I love it.
We are drinking Hubbard's Cave.
Oh God. Yes, we are. And it's kind of fun because we're doing it via Zoom, and because I've got some stuff I'm working on and Brandon's at home and we weren't able to meet up. So we both got two random Hubbard's Cave beers. We have no idea what each other is about to crack open and talk about. So technically you'll be hearing 4 beers, but we're only drinking 2. And looking at the ABV on the beers that I got, whoops, long night for Tony. Didn't think that through, and I grabbed him. I said, this looks good. This looks good. Here we go. Oh no, what have I done? But that's okay. So why don't we get straight? Actually, do you have any information about Hubbard's Cave pulled up? Because, not everybody knows who Hubbard's Cave is.
Yeah, so I do. So like the basic info that I'm going offhand knowing, Hubbard's Cave originally was out in, I don't want to say Morton Grove. Skokie?
Yeah, it was in that Skokie Des Plaines area.
Yeah, Des Plaines. Okay, yeah. So they were actually in a shopping mall originally. Yes. So they were in a shopping mall. I've been to that location. I drank beers there. And I met a guy that lived a block or 2 away from me while I was there. And I told him, hey, like he was interested in brewing. I was like, you should come brew with us. And then I've never contacted him again. But I think I got his number. Maybe we'll hit him up if he wants to brew. Anyway.
I like how that story played out.
Yeah. So anyway, Hubbard's Cave is actually like a hybrid. So it's Unani and Hubbard's Cave. It's the same brewery, but they release stuff under different names because they are completely different styles. So with Hubbard's Cave, you could find you can find an IPA, a double IPA, triple IPA. You can find those really thick pastry stouts that we tend to enjoy from time to time. And then Unani leans more on the experimental side with like experimental sours using experimental yeast, just things that, the average beer drinker like may not normally go to, but those that have like that acquired taste definitely love Unani. And I've had some Unani beers and they are phenomenal. So I can't say anything bad about that either. But yeah, it's literally the same wheelhouse pushing them out. And they moved from that Des Plaines like little shopping center. And now they're in Niles, just behind the Leaning Tower YMCA on Grosse Pointe Road.
If you don't know what that is, Google it. It literally is a leaning tower in Niles.
Yeah. My dad used to tell me stories when he was a kid. They used to go hunting out there, and the only thing that was out there was this leaning tower that some guy built in the middle of a field somewhere. And suddenly, like, all these businesses came around it. So
now it's a little
yeah. Of course. Yeah. So he did that, or they moved over there. what's cool about their location, which I regret not being able to have gone there, they specialize in barbecue. So if you want to get some like good barbecue, I've heard great things about their food. We already know that there's great things about their beer. That's why we're drinking it now and talking about it. But barbecue is where it's at out there as well.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures. It looks fantastic. And also about the Unani, you're talking about the styles they do. They do a lot of wild beers as well, and fruited sour beers that really, really good. And their designs are very simple and straightforward, which is nice. You can
minimalistic, I would say.
Absolutely. And the Hubbard's Cave one, they dip into very simple black and white designs, and that's about it. There's some pictures as I'm looking at some of the cans that I have here in front of me. But yeah, I second everything that you said on that, on both of the names, and how good those beers actually are. And eventually, we'll come around to do the Unani as well, trying some of their beers. But tonight we are focusing on Hubbard's Cave, and I think we should get right into it. Brandon, what is the first beer you're going to open up tonight?
My first beer is actually Hubbard's Cave Fresh Pale.
Is there a date on that one? Because normally they have dates or a hop on there. No, it should be on the actual label itself. Sometimes it'll show it. I know some of the fresh IPAs, they'll have it on
Hazy
there.
Pale Ale, 6% alcohol.
Should be.
Yeah, so it's funny because when I was looking at the IPAs, all the IPAs had the hops listed. This one does not have the hops listed.
So that's just their pale ale, right?
Yeah, it just says Fresh Pale Ale.
Yeah.
There was like several different versions of the IPA at Binny's, and the guy there was talking them up to somebody else, and the guy walked away with a four pack or whatever. And he was like, "I'm gonna have a rough night," and like left. And then like as I was leaving, he came back and I saw him putting it back, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why are you putting it back?"
Yeah,
but
yeah, their fresh series is really good. They'll normally, I know for the IPAs, they have a date on there of when it was canned. I almost grabbed one that there it is. That was canned on July 29th, so almost a month. So it's not that not that old. So you went that. So I went kind of in the same route. But this is one I've been looking at. They've got different variations of it, and I decided to finally give it a try. I don't know what the how fresh this is or when the last time it came out, but it is a flavored Imperial IPA, and this one is called Milk of the Murder Hornet Blueberry. Now they've had raspberry or strawberry, peach, maybe guava. I don't know, but I'm assuming we're gonna go. I don't know. I don't remember all of it, but I think this is gonna lend itself more to being like a milkshake. Oh my god, milkshake IPA. Brandon, can you see the color of this? I mean, that is like blueberry. That is.
Oh yeah, that's dark.
That is dark blue. Oh my god. It smells. Oh, it's got a reddish hue to it. That is the color of blueberries. That is insane.
So. Question, just to clarify, did you end up going to Bottles and Cans in Edgebrook?
I did, and it is for those of you who don't know, Bottles and Cans is a beer shop that is also like Beer on the Wall, which I think we've talked about in the past, where you can go and buy whole 4-packs or whole 6-packs of beer or single bottles, but also they just have the cans, like for at least for Bottles and Cans, if you walk up to a 6-pack on the shelf, you can take a bottle out of it and then go put the other 5 bottles in the carrier in front of a case where they end up setting them up so you can grab individual cans. So no matter what is there, in a 4-pack or a 6-pack, you can build your own 4-pack or 6-pack from it. Doesn't matter. I saw some Rev barrel-aged beers sitting there. I saw a can of Supermassive Cafe Death. I was like, do I need to buy another one? I didn't. So I did end up just doing 2 Hubbard's Cave, and I grabbed something from Hop Butcher and something from Off Color, which I'm excited to tell you about. Maybe you and I will share it tomorrow, because it might be that we're getting close to that time of year. If you can guess maybe what that beer is that I grabbed. It's their pumpkin beer. I grabbed Off Color's pumpkin beer. I don't know why I'm making it such a mystery. Pumpkin beer cafe, beer for was a beer for cafes, pumpkin beer for cafes, or whatever it's called. It's part of their beer for series, and this one is a pumpkin beer. So, anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. Brandon, what do you think of that pale ale that you got from Hubbard's Cave?
I love it. It's light, it's crispy, and so it's actually classified on the side. It says hazy pale ale.
Nice.
And I would agree with that. It's a bit hazy. It's actually really hazy.
I love the color of it.
I really wish I could I wish I knew what hops are in here, but I'm getting nothing. It's not floral. No, there's a little bit of floralness. I mean, but again, that's just hops in general that have some floralness.
Sure.
There is like zero bitterness. Like, it's crazy how low it feels in the bitterness. I mean, to me, like, I don't know. I mean, I like super crazy bitter beers, and then this, I'm like, that's not bitter at all. So it could be like high IBUs, but it's easy drinking. And it's funny because I Googled this and I looked it up. I went onto their website. There's nothing that says like what the hops are.
That's exactly what I was doing right now, trying to take a look.
And I was literally like, I was scouring the web. I'm like, what hops are in here? I did that beforehand, and I was doing it right now too. But yeah, I mean, super easy drinking, super light ABV. 6%, but super like light mouthfeel, I guess, too.
Good for a pale ale.
I mean, I'm glad I found this. So, and also the reason I found this too is when I was looking at beers, I saw this was a 4-pack for $9.99, and then everything else was like, a little more expensive. And I knew I already had a beer from Hubbard's Cave that I have yet to try. I've been holding on to, and I've been wanting to try it. So I went with this one because like the IPA was like, that I saw was like 8%, 8.5%. I was like, no, I need something light to start. But super delicious. Malty. And you know what? And I dare say juicy. I hate that word with beers, but it is like juicy.
Well, yeah, I've actually had, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I have had that beer before, and I do remember enjoying it very much so. I know I've had a bunch there.
It's super easy drinking.
Yeah, I've had their other fresh IPAs, and I had a run on those for a while. They're very good. All their IPAs are very, very tasty, very fresh, not crazy bitter. They do have one called Hopsurd, which is a straight up, West Coast style IPA, in my opinion. And it reminds me of those, old school, really hoppy IPAs, and it's very tasty. I like that one a lot. But the pale, I believe I have had in the past, and I think I, not mistaken, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Going off that, so this is the first time that I've had this Milk of the Murder Hornet, which is a fantastic name. They started, if I'm not mistaken, they started this series last year when we were all concerned about murder hornets coming into the United States, and we saw one, I think,
as we should have been.
Yeah. It's a double milkshake IPA, and it's got blueberry. It definitely has blueberry in it. The color of it is like a rich kind of purple to it that you get from blueberries. It smells fruity and maybe a hint of blueberry or a bit of berry. And I'm going to go back in for a taste here. It is, so with it being an Imperial IPA with blueberry, vanilla, and lactose, I was expecting it to be overly sweet and a bit too much. And this is probably my favorite milkshake IPA I've ever had in my life.
So is this your first time having it?
It is. It's my first time having this beer. And I haven't had any of the other Milk of the Murder Hornet variants or anything. But this has all of the, maybe it's the blueberry that I really like in it, because blueberry is so subtle but very distinct, if that makes any sense. It's not a very overpowering flavor, but the vanilla in there is really nice. There is a bit of citrus from the hops, so whatever the hops they're using. This is a double IPA, and the lactose is not overly sweet. So I don't feel like they just dumped a bunch of lactose in here to make it like an overly sweet beer. For the style that, you know, we keep saying that we don't like, and then we're keep finding now beers that we do like. This is up there with that Brickstone milkshake IPA that we had.
As a side note, I almost bought that just because it said milkshake IPA. I was like, ooh. And then
This one, the Hubbard one?
Yeah. So I stopped at Benny's. Like I said, I already had I bought a 2-pack almost a month ago, but I still haven't tried yet. And I've been holding on to it.
I think you and I'm not sure, because I think I knew what you had, but I'm not 100% sure, and I didn't grab it because of that. But the other beer that I have, I think we might have the same beer.
It's okay.
I'm excited about that. I kind of hope it is. And if not, I mean, you said 2-pack. I took a can from a 2-pack. Again, thank you, Bottles and Cans. I wish
I can do my shopping there now, because like literally, like, especially with like, you know, breweries that produce stuff that I just want to try, like that's phenomenal. And especially when you do a podcast, like when we're doing it in person, being able to go there and just get one can, you know. Yeah.
Well, and something like this 4-pack is $17. Now, say I didn't like this, and it was just too much for me. I would have been really bummed out spending $17 or $18 on this. Now, I like this enough where I'd probably venture out if I saw another 4-pack. If I happened to be at like Benny's or another place where they just had 4-packs and I couldn't break off a can, I would buy it. I would buy a 4-pack of this and share it with people or whatever. But to know that the 4-pack that I built today with this, the other Hubbard's Cave beer, the Off Color beer, and then the triple IPA that I got from Hot Butcher, because I'm not drinking beer during the week anymore. Brandon, new revelation. I'm no longer drinking beer during the week right now. I'm done drinking beer during the week. So technically it's Friday. That's okay. It's the end of the week. So I went all out. But that 4-pack cost me $17 today. So I got 4 different beers for the same price it would have been to just get the 4 of the Murder Hornet. Yeah. Whatever. But yes, that whole setup is really nice. And we got into that. Sorry for the 2-pack talk. But this beer, 2-pack. This beer is awesome. It's really good. I think for people who might not be interested in maybe the idea of a milkshake IPA, or just worried about IPAs in general, this is probably a good jump off point, especially with all the fruit that they're using in these. Now I kind of want to search out other places that might have some of the other ones. I think they've done peach and strawberry. I know I mentioned a whole bunch of other fruits, but I can see the strawberry one being really, really good. If that works as well as this does with the blueberry, the strawberry probably is even better. I did see Maplewood's Mr. Shaky Peach that I almost grabbed too, but I didn't want 2 milkshake IPAs in one 4-pack. Wanted to, you know, I that's a very diverse 4-pack that I bought. Milkshake IPA, triple IPA, pumpkin latte beer, and then the next beer that we're gonna get into.
Well, so I'm curious, how does Bottles and Can price that?
It is priced out individually per 4-pack, so they got to make something on it. So I'm pretty sure that my thought is that you take the 4-pack or 6-pack, and maybe they divide it by 6 or 4 and charge per what they would make on that, with maybe a slight upcharge. And I could be wrong, but that would make sense to me, with a slight upcharge of the convenience of you get to take this and then you're just leaving it.
So when you do that, do they scan every individual can or no?
Yeah, they type everything in or scan it in.
Okay. So what I think they probably do is it's just a percentage. If you got something came from a 4-pack, 6-pack, whatever, they do the math and it just equals out. And that's how you get your price. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense for us in the podcast for future episodes of local stuff, and they also have non-local stuff. They have stuff from East Coast, West Coast, all over the United States. It would make sense for us to the three of us to take a trip and build our own 4-packs one day.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing all the other part is that, especially this time of year, there's a bunch of Oktoberfest beers. There's a bunch of pumpkin beers. There's a bunch of fest beers. There's just a plethora. If you just want to, I mean, I know we've kind of gone off a tangent here on bottles and cans and those types of places like Beer on the Wall as well. It really is a very convenient way to go ahead and buy a beer. It's a better way to build your own 6-pack, other than going to your local grocery store or local liquor store that might have a build your own 6-pack. Those beers in those 9 out of 10 times are very old or very close to being old. And it's unfortunate because the grocery store by me did it for a while, and I built a 6-pack one time. I'm like, something is not right about these beers, and I started checking from there on out, and they were like beers that were like a year old, just sitting there. Like they sat there, so they broke them to build your own 6-packs, and it's like you're hindering people from spending the $10 on that 6-pack because you're putting out old beer. You're keeping old beer on the shelf. Like,
well, what that does, it has people come in and they try the beer and they're like, this isn't good, this isn't good, this isn't good. And then they don't come back and buy more beer. So,
you can make a lot of money from craft beer, people. It's an expensive habit. It's an expensive hobby, and it's an expense I dread to spend all the time. But yeah, this is also going back to the beer that I'm drinking, the blueberry milk of the Murder Hornet. This is 8.5%. This does not taste 8.5% by any means. This is very, and it's not super. I didn't have this super cold either. It's been in the fridge for about 2 hours, and it was just sitting on the shelf. So it's not super cold, but it's chilled, and it's really good. I kind of regret that I didn't actually get the 4-pack, because then I could share this with you tomorrow when I see you. We'll have to send we'll send somebody to the store to pick us up a 4-pack.
Oh, good.
All right, see you guys later.
No, I mean, that sounds awesome, man.
Yeah, man, it's good. I think you would you know what? Next week, take a trip up to Bottles and Cans. Take a trip to Bottles and Cans right there. It's not that
maybe I will.
It's much closer to you than it is to me. But it is this is worth grabbing and checking out. It's very good. I'm very happy with this. I'm super stoked that I found another milkshake IPA that I actually would drink. I'm not gonna go out and buy it all the time, but seeing these different fruits, I've heard good things about it, and now seeing these different fruits that they use when they come out now. Bottles and Cans, here I come, baby, coming back for more.
There you
go. Oh man, that's delicious. I wish
so.
I had another one.
So that being said, just to pivot.
Pivot.
We did a lot of that when we moved your dad back into his house.
Pivot. Oh, we broke a window.
A lot of window. What is your next Hubbard's Cave beer?
All right, I think you and I should reveal these at the same time. All right. So, the next beer that I'm going to drink is Hubbard's Cave S'mores.
German chocolate cake.
Oh, that's right. It was German chocolate cake that you had. Didn't we do it after the final pour on the s'mores? Shit, I think we did.
Did we? Yeah, we might have.
We might have. So German chocolate cake, that's awesome. You've had that for a little bit, not too long, or did you have it like towards the beginning of this year?
I bought it right before we went to Hip Hop's house.
Old Hip Hop's house. That's right. And actually, I've seen that beer in you've got 2 locations, and I've seen it, and I've always been like, ooh, I really want to. We couldn't do a Hubbard's Cave episode without getting some type of big sweet stout. And the problem with this is that I'm gonna have a hard time finishing this whole thing, because these both of these I think are probably 12% alcohol. Correct?
I plan on capping this.
Yeah,
I 12%.
How are you gonna cap it? What are you gonna do to it?
Oh, we've got these like plastic bottle caps that just kind of literally it goes on, it's like skin tight, just sits on top of it.
What if I just maybe I'll remove some skin from my arm and just put it on top and save
That would work too. Totally.
No, actually, I do have totes do that. I think I have something that I'm going to do as well, because
if I want to be miserable tomorrow, I'll just drink this.
Yeah,
I'm chug it.
I have too much to do tonight and too much to do tomorrow for me to do this. So I poured about half the can here. Yeah, I think
Tony's important.
I think we have done it after the final pour on this, but oh man. So, I know we've talked about the Hubbard's Caves stouts numerous times, other than, doing the after the final pour. They are very sweet. It is no joke. It is a sweet stout. It is the epitome of pastry stout. All the ones that I have tried, the coffee cakes, the shit. What else is there? The French toast one. They really do cookies and cream. The iced mocha, which the iced mocha one is not an imperial one. It was 6%. I don't know if that was an accident or not, but it's a 6% beer. All of those they taste like what they say, and yeah, they're sweet, and sometimes you might need a friend to drink these with. Yeah. So, Brandon, what are you getting from that German chocolate cake? Since we've already talked about mine, might as well hear about yours.
Yeah, and I've took a couple sips too, so I'm getting like a slight aroma of toasted coconut. It's like a deep malty chocolate scent that I'm getting though, which is great. And then like on here, it says chocolate pecan and toasted coconut, and I taste it and I'm like, I get chocolate and toasted coconut. I don't necessarily get the pecan, but I think like because the chocolate is kind of overpowering it at this point. So
I also wanted to point out that both you and I sound like we're congested right now, and I think that's because we're both in our basements, and it's so hot in Chicago this week that being this long now, it sounds like we've been out in the winter cold for all day. So I'm noticing that about both of us. Like I'm having a hard time smelling some of the beer now.
Yeah, no, so am I. And it's funny because like I came down and I was like, oh, okay, great. And I sit down here for a while, and like I was doing some stuff in the yard, came back in, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel like
it's just
and I don't have allergies, but like shit just builds up, man. Like,
yeah. If I ever fall asleep in the basement, which I've been known to do, I wake up just congested. It's the worst. But thank God for central air, as we are blessed with this very, very hot summer we're enjoying in Chicago right now. So you don't taste the pecan, but you taste the toasted coconut, you taste the chocolate.
Oh yeah, definitely getting some slight coconut. Chocolate is definitely there.
Yeah, they do chocolate very well in their beers.
Then maybe there's another flavor that's lingering, and maybe that is the pecan. So there's very few beers that I've had with pecan. Actually, I would venture to say like most beers that I've had that say there's pecan in there, that I can definitely nail the pecan flavor. Because it just kind of
I'm sorry. I wasn't saying like hold on.
If you have one.
No. I was about there's two that I can think of. One for sure being Woot Stout. That has pecan in it that I do remember tasting, which by the way, there is the latest Woot Stout variation is out right now, and I almost did that if my build my own 4-pack, but I was like, not today. And then if I'm not mistaken, one of the props had pecan in it that I thought
it did.
It did. So sorry, continue.
And we didn't do like when we did our French presses, I don't think we've done pecan, right?
That would be a good shaking my head now as I'm vaping.
That would be a good experiment, is to take some toasted pecan and like French press into something just to see if we can get it.
I think if we did toasted almonds and toasted pecan, that'd be kind of fun to do that with Bourbon County, just to see what kind of oil we can get out of that. Or maybe pine nuts. No, thanks.
Yeah, no. So that being said, this is a thick beer. It is what you would consider a pastry stout. And, so not that I eat German chocolate cake on the regular, but like it's got that, it's reminiscent. I could see where this goes side by side. And I would definitely, like in the future, if I ever had German chocolate cake, I would probably like try to get this and just do a pour and be like, how is it Yeah. It's fucking tasty, man. Like this is definitely like an after dinner, like give me not as much as I'm drinking right now, but give me a little bit and I will be okay. Maybe after some brisket at a fucking brewery.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
It's okay. The kids aren't listening. Yeah, I that's something. I mean, that's what we've come to love about Hubbard's Cave. At least I think, you know, between the two of us, and I think Clark as well, that these big like pastry stouts really are. I mean, they're sweet. They are rich. They hit everything that they say is in there. It's just very well done. And the same thing for the
Like,
s'more. I think me, you, and Clark did the s'more.
They
together.
nail it, dude. They nail it. That's what's like mind blowing. Is like there's a description and that's what it is. Like, and even if you can't, like, even if I can't get like the pecan, you know, but they're nailing it on every other front.
Well, that goes with the s'more here. Like the actual, wow, there's more beer in here than I thought. That's good. Imperial milk stout with chocolate, graham crackers, marshmallows, and vanilla. I get chocolate, marshmallow, and vanilla. I'm not maybe necessarily getting a bunch of graham cracker, as you know. Us, you know, we've brewed beers before where that's something we're talking about. How do we get graham cracker flavor into a beer that we want to experiment with? But that chocolate, vanilla, marshmallow combination, it's not, and at 12%, it's not a hot beer. It doesn't taste boozy.
No,
it's just,
it doesn't taste like
12%. No,
it just tastes like a sweet drink.
Yeah, and it's very like minimal carbonation. Like when you open it up, it's not like super carved up. It's a really nice beer to have and to share with other people. That's what I love about their stouts. And with that being said, Brandon, I think we might need to. Brandon and I are going on a trip, everybody, just so you guys know. So there'll be something about that. We just planned a little trip. We were going to do the Bourbon Trail. We decided maybe not head south right now. The state of the world.
No,
state of the world.
Hashtag no COVID.
Hashtag no Delta. We are going to head as far north as we possibly can. We're heading to way north Wisconsin, up to Washington Island. We're gonna do some camping, man. We're gonna do some camping, and we're gonna grab some beers, and we're
kicking it old school.
Yeah, we're gonna get we're gonna do cabins. We're gonna do cabin, but we ended up doing tents, which I'm very excited because it's been a while since I used my tent. It's been a while since I slept in a tent. The weather's supposed to be great, and I think this s'mores beer would be fantastic. In fact, Brandon and I, before we started recording, started talking about, you know, some special beers that we're going to bring up there with us. And then, sorry, my phone just vibrated. That just probably caught on Mike. But yeah, but heading through Wisconsin. I mean, not to get off the Hubbard's Cave thing, but you know, we were excited to go down to Kentucky to do the Bourbon Trail, which we eventually do. We're maybe going to talk about that in a show, but now we get a chance to get a little bit of Wisconsin beer in us, other than New Glarus, which, you know, everybody loves New Glarus.
Yeah, so our plan is obviously we're going to Washington Island. Anyone that knows Door County knows it's an island, but which
I found out last night wasn't just a clever name.
Yes,
I was like, let's check it out. Look it on Google Maps. Oh, it's a real island.
And Tony was like, "Holy shit, we're taking a ferry. We are taking a ferry."
I felt so dumb. I was even telling my mom about it. She goes, "Yeah, it's called an island."
Yeah. Yeah, so backstory, my family has been going there for like since I was a kid. That's all I remember. We'd always gone to the same place. I actually did contact that place. They were booked up. But the camping site was open and we've gone camping there before. So I was like, oh, let's relive some childhood memories. Probably the campsite where my dad kicked me out of the tent when I was a kid. Because I wouldn't stop talking about Mickey or something like that. Like my dad was just like, get out. He kicked me and my siblings out and was like, go for a walk. So we had to go walk around.
Dads are the coolest. Dads are the coolest.
So I think the island is like 6 miles around, something like that. It's not super huge, but you will not find a McDonald's, you will not find a Wendy's, no fast food places.
So we're bringing up all your jerky, man. That's why we're bringing up all your jerky. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some tomahawk steaks.
Oh my God.
That's what we gotta do.
Man, then the first round, whatever brewery we stop at, the first round's on me, and then the second brewery we stop at, that round's on me, and then I will make breakfast the morning of, because tomahawk steaks are not cheap.
No.
But they're so good. They're so good.
And there's like so there is a a bar out there that I randomly found one time. I was there a couple of years, like almost not 10 years ago, but a while ago. And the owner of the bar is from Park Ridge, Illinois. And it's like an Irish bar. It's called Fiddler's Green. And
wait, it's called Fiddler's Green?
Fiddler's Green.
Okay, so this is the nerd in me. That is so there. This is. I know it has nothing to do with it, but Fiddler's Green is also a reference to something in the Night of the Living Dead universe, as all those movies, and also it has to do something with the Walking Dead video games. Fiddler's Green. So I'm just throwing that out there. Zombies. We have to go to that. We got to go to the bar now.
We got to go there. We will totally go there. Like the first time when the woman was from Park Ridge and just sat and talked with us, and they had some like pretty decent beer on tap. So like, we will check that out. Otherwise, it's almost like a desolate island. You can go places. It's just like, but there's so much history on there.
I'm so I like knowing that I'm gonna camp on an island. To me, is like the coolest thing. Like as much as I want to do the Bourbon Trail, and you and I will do that. This just sounds so much fun. We were gonna have Clark join us, but Clark is on other duties that weekend, so he cannot join us. But sorry, Clark. Sorry, buddy. We'll bring you back a souvenir from there. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think a beer like the s'mores beer, you do camping, s'mores, a beer like this would be good. Even
it just makes sense.
Just makes sense. I'm excited for that, man. That's gonna be a lot of
fun. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to that trip. Circling back to the Hubbard's Cave, I don't know necessarily, like I would do the German chocolate cake, but yeah, like you said, the s'mores beer, I haven't had that yet, but I think that would be, or maybe I have after the final pour.
I'm pouring a little bit more. I'm doing it. So okay, so I'm doing it. Sorry, I just poured a little bit more, and it's not as I'm pouring it in front of the screen. It's almost like a cola color, and I thought it was a lot darker. I'm looking at yours, and it's not. But when you swirl it around the glass, oh man, it coats it nice. I mean, that is thick. A fun Hubbard's Cave beer, I think, to bring camping, other than s'mores, if we really wanted to have some fun that first morning when we wake up, because the Monday morning we wake up, we got to drive home. But maybe we, to start the day before we go about our business, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to have some breakfast and, start the day right with maybe some of their coffee and cakes, their pancake and coffee beer.
I like where your head's going.
That's maple syrup. It tastes like pancakes. There's coffee in there. I mean, that's a good way to start the day. And I do know also that the s'mores beer, they do a peanut butter version of it, peanut butter s'mores from Hubbard's Cave, which was very tempting the first time I saw it.
Me like you the peanut butter.
The last time I had a Hubbard's Cave stout like this, I got their French toast one, which is very good. And they do a raspberry one of that as well. But I had been on a pastry stout kick last summer with hazy IPAs and pastry stouts. I was just trying to get as fat as possible. Yeah. Summer of the stout, man. I got that French toast beer, and I sat outside to get my fire built. Jeff was, in the yard next to me, and I cracked open the can, took a sip, and I was like, I need a glass of water to drink with this because it's just so it's just so sweet, and it made me realize, like I'm glad I've taken a break from these beers, because now I'm like, well, a little more than halfway through this can. I might just finish this tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That might be my MO too. So.
I can still be active. Oh, I have this. I didn't drink beer all week, and got it. Yeah, that's my guy right there. You and I will share a couple of fun beers tomorrow. Brandon, you know what I thought about also? We could have talked about, which we didn't talk about when we did the last episode 60. We didn't really talk about your IPA. So, I mean, I'd like to maybe consider that for an episode before we get too deep into it. People will follow us on the social medias. Brandon made a mango coconut vanilla beans in there as well, right?
Yep, correct.
IPA. So it was the original recipe was supposed to be for a milkshake IPA, but you would forego the lactose.
Yep.
And I got to be honest, it's a delicious IPA, and I'm not going to get ttoo far into it. But a beer.
I know. I've been drinking a lot of it.
Oh no! Don't drink all of it.
No, it's still like
just have that for Halloween. Just brew it for Halloween. Yeah, it's really good, man. We need to have a bit of a discussion review of that on the podcast soon. So please bring some of that to my house tomorrow when you come and see me.
I will.
Because
that's the plan.
Outstanding. Well, I think Hubbard's Cave did us right tonight. I'm glad that we did it this way. Clark, sorry you missed out, man. It would have been fun to have you on here and also random beers. This won't be the last time we do a Hubbard's Cave episode by any means. There'll be reasons to do it.
No, hopefully we will get some peeps from Hubbard's Cave to chat with us about Hubbard's Cave's beer. That way we can learn what's in the fresh pale ale, like what are the hops.
Well, and I'm also interested in how they make these beers taste the way they do. Like how do you get these to taste like what you say they are? Because a lot of thought and try, as we learned with Short Fuse, they're like, how do you guys get those flavors in there? I mean, they're melting gummy bears, like pounds and pounds of gummy bears to get that flavor.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird because I would assume they're not throwing German chocolate cake in there, but whatever they're doing, they're getting the shit out of there. So it's good to know that, like, what they're aiming for, they're getting. So what are they doing? Like, if they're gonna what are you doing? If they're gonna consider it like trade secrets and they don't want to like tell us, then okay, that's fine. But like, help us out, man. Why are your beers so good?
Just want something. We need some information. Oh man, but I'm glad this is the route we went. We weren't sure. We were kind of short on time for this weekend. I'm glad this is what we ended up with, man, because Hubbard's Cave, boy, you guys are doing it right, and we look forward to drinking more of your
Did
beers.
not disappoint.
No, not at all. Brandon, anything else you want to talk about on this, man?
We're going to Washington Island.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait for that shit. It's gonna be awesome, and we might even record up there.
Yeah, I think we have to. I think that has to be whatever, like just recording whatever we find on our travels up there, beer wise, and then just kind of talking about it.
Yeah, we'll post a bunch of pictures of the shit that we're drinking too, because and who knows, there might be a video, just like when Clark and I went to Michigan. This is Tony and Brandon go to Wisconsin.
Good idea.
So
good idea, pal.
It's actually gonna be close to a year to the day when because oh shit, yeah, it is. Oh fuck, Brandon, we're gonna miss the first Bears game. We gotta watch the Bears game in Wisconsin.
Oh damn, Wisconsin.
Guess that's when we're going to the bar. They're probably not gonna have the Bears game. Anyway, Brandon, I love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Hubbard's Cave, we also love you.
We love you very much.
We do. Oh my god, it's so good. That's it for this week, guys. Thanks for listening. Clark, fucking just be more available, please. Okay, that's what we're praying you for. I don't care if it's your anniversary weekend or not. I said it.
We're paying Clark?
Wait, you're not? Fuck.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us on social media platforms individually. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, on Untapped, BDub Drinks Beer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Asa Phelps Chicago. On Twitter, The Asa Phelps Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.